Outer Orange.
So we're gonna go talk about Vic. Let me go get my. We're gonna have a whole conversation about Mickey Boy because I've actually been wanting to rant for like a solid like 20 minutes about this card, and I need to rant about it. So let's go to these reveals. Okay, so he's adorable, by the way. The cutest thing. Like, I'm gonna move myself for a second. Look how cute he is. He's actually the cutest thing ever. However, let's talk about his skill. So, Mick the Ghosty and family, Grand Blue Ghost unit, right? When this unit is placed on R, C, during your turn by a card ability, cost, discard the top 2 cards of your deck until end of turn. This unit gets auto on rear at the end of the battle. At the end of the battle where this unit attacked or boosted, retire, choose one of your units and gets 10k till end of turn. Good part, not too bad. So second part of the skill, auto from drop. When your Vanguard attacks, if you have 10 or more cards in your drop zone, you can Counterblast, Soul Blast 1, call this card to an empty Vanguard circle. Caramba. So the second skill is so painful in my opinion, but the first skill isn't like terrible. So let's break this down. So what can you so there's like 2 main decks that you can play this in. You can play this in Night Rose and you can play this in Beatrice. It's a ghosty card and obviously it works in Beatrice. However, there's one big issue with this card, and that is the fact that it's a 0. Honestly, Night Rose can be a little bricky, and putting zeros in my opinion is kind of painful. But like I said, keep in mind guys, I should state this, I haven't tested this obviously, so I'm talking through straight speculation. I could be wrong, but personally playing both decks, yeah, it's a 0. It's a freaking 0. If it was like a 1 or a 3, it already would have been like 10. I know why they made it a 0. It's a 0 in the old way too, right? So it's a stand trigger originally. So they kind of had to make it a 0. Yeah, it can be called after Damien, but the thing is, like, you also have Chappie already. I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird. But anyway, so it's not terrible, but it's not great either. It does help you on brick a little bit in Beatrice. But okay, so the biggest issue I have with this card is this part right here. It says retire it. This is painful. This part is what makes it kind of weird in Beatrice. So Beatrice has two main issues. It's quote unquote ghosty support. It's like half and half. It can work in either one, to be honest. But anyway, so the retire part sucks because the Beatrice's biggest issue is draw. Grand Blue, I think the grade 1 slot is so full. I would have honestly rather seen a grade 3 to replace Skull Dragon, because Skull Dragon is okay, but it costs a counterblast every single time. And while the numbers are super high, I would honestly just rather have a ghosty grade 3 that isn't Beatrice personally. So I think it would have been better that way, but that's just me. So the thing about this card is that it's like, like where are you gonna find room for this card? Like there's already an issue in Beatrice and in Night Rose in terms of deck space, and putting another 0 in just sucks. Like you can like theoretically put in like so in Chappie's spot. So let's look at Chappie real quick. So not this one, but this one. So there's this card, which obviously isn't too great. It says when placed, if your drop zone 10 or more, it gets 10k. So you can replace this with this card, right? And that's about it. And that's it. Ghosty grade 3 that CCs when it dies like Jesse. Exactly. Sabri is on point. We also, low-key, I think we need either one of 2 things. We either need a card that gives a ghosty unit resist. It could be a hard once per turn. Like a hard once per turn could be restricted to the name, kind of like Column Bard is. Or we need a card that says draw card. One of those 2 things on a ghosty would be amazing. It could be on the grade 3. It could be like at the end of battle, it got retired. You can countercharge and draw a card. And then you can call grade 2 after that, because this deck needs draw so badly. That, or put a resist on one of the ghosty units, because the issue with this deck is if you face any retire deck as a Beatrice player, you just lose, because they board wipe you and you just have no more shield anymore. Your Path of Ghosties is your only out, and then you have to find a way to recall everything back out, and it just sucks. Meanwhile, like the ghosty units have intercept on them. It's pretty much the same issue that the new Cario support has. You have like these amazing protect 2 skills, but it's protect 2 with no resist on it, right? So it just does absolutely nothing the minute you face a retired deck. Like, and there's quite a bit. Vanquisher, Thavas, and like Akagero is enough to if you face those matchups, you just auto lose into them, right? So it's kind of iffy. Now in Night Rose, this isn't terrible either, but again, it kind of falls into the same situation of the deck already doesn't have enough space for everything. Why in the world would you want to put this in? This could be an introduction to more ghosty support, and that would be freaking amazing, FYI. Now the other issue I have with this card is this part right here, specifically this part. And I understand why they put a counterblast on it. I think it would be a little too good in premium, and I think restricting to a counterblast is good. However, in V premium, this sucks absolute butt munches. Night Rose, you go through your counterblast quite a bit between Column Bard and Night Rose's skill, so just no reason for this, right? And then in Beatrice, same freaking issue, right? If you want to loop on both sides, you use like three to four counterblasts, so you are just screwed. You'll never actually be able to call this card out. You can sometimes, but it'll be like for lethal potentially, or if you overextend with this card, it could screw you. The other issue is that it's to an empty rearguard circle, which means you cannot call it. Can't call on top of Rick the Ghosty, so you can't extend extra attack. And yeah, you're just kind of calling it for this extra 10k, and then it just self-retires anyway, so you lose the shield off of it regardless. So what you could do, you could loop on one side, go 3-2-1-0, and then when your Vanguard attacks, you can call this card out for the Counterblast, and then you can retire it that way. But yeah, you can't put anything on the other side, because it has to be to an empty regress circle. So that's the other issue I have with this card. The CB is kind of heavy, and it doesn't feel worth it for a on-place 10k 15k total. Just feels kind of weird, especially if your opponent hits defenses. So that's Beatrice. I'm trying to think of other decks this could fit in. So it could technically be thrown into Peanut Noir for just the extra mill. And you know, the 10k power is actually really nice because it does say 10k to one of your units, like heavy Vanguard as well. Cocytus, it can be played in Cocytus. It's not terrible in Cocytus. I don't think it's enough to push the deck over or change anything. Long story short, this card is like a thing you can throw in, and that's about it. Like, and hope that it works, right? That's it. Because I'm telling you, this 0 is really bad. Cocytus is actually one of the few decks where you don't really care about running weird ratios because the deck just kind of functions on its own. It doesn't need crazy cards to do its thing. That the issue with the deck is that it's just the reverse is just too restricted. Peanut Noir, Cocytus, Beatrice, and Night Rose. I think that's everything except for like weird decks, but we don't. I get like what you gotta play scary deck. I don't know. In premium, I don't think there's a reason to run this over the old stand trigger, and the reason being is this card goes back to deck, and I just think that's just better. It is a GB1 though, so the upside is because this is a GB1. Technically speaking, this can be faster if you play this card because you can just do it whenever. You don't have to rely on Stride for this, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. But you also have Navigator, and do you really care about this that much? Like, do you really want to place it through a card's ability and do all this and that? Like, it's kind of just weird. It is the adorable Ghosty. I don't know. I give this card a whopping 5 out of 10 oranges. It gets 5 out of 10 oranges for me. It's just straight in the middle. It's not terrible. It is not great. But, you know, maybe future interactions, there might be something good here. That's my big fat TED Talk, Mick the Ghosty rants for y'all today.